this weather was kind of predicted based on yesterday. It was actually raining really hard just a few seconds ago and it kind of stopped. I almost thought it was hail at first, but it was just the water or rain was actually that thick. One of the biggest things that caught my attention today for the news anyway, something about GoPro laying off hundreds of people, where the speculation is it's because of the drone department. Well, how about some fun stuff first and some of the things you guys told me. It says here, 2 German brothers made a drone out of their bathtub and flew around in it. A drone? Making a drone into a bathtub. What would the purpose of this be? The only thing I can think of is from movies where people use them as a time machine. But yeah, I guess that's what they basically did. As it states here, it's a remote controlled drone that uses the same technology as a common drone, and they flew it around a gym with a pilot inside. It makes me wonder when people do this, it's just for the sake of doing it, just to show that it can be done. Because I don't think there's any practical application for this, or is there? Or is it a way to test whether or not you can apply this to other things that you may want? Like, just, maybe it's a little far-fetched, but is this how people are going to deliver stuff? Hey, maybe I can attach this to your bathtub or a fridge, and this is how it's going to be delivered. And then you guys posted this interesting idea actually. It was a Street View camera loan application, like for the Google Street View. I remember seeing this where, for example, hikers, they had this really huge backpack with cameras provided by Google, and essentially they just walk through the area so they can get 360 views of it. So you guys were suggesting maybe that's kind of a good idea for me in terms of, I guess, capturing stuff. And the more I thought about it, the more it actually kind of made sense in many ways. Because I know some of you said you actually want to know more about this, like various areas and stuff that I walk around at times. At the same time, this kind of gives you the equipment without me having to spending like thousands and thousands of dollars to actually capture stuff like that in the VR as well. So it kind of gives me almost everything. That would give me the VR camera, I have the drone, I have a thermal camera. Am I missing anything in terms of perspectives? I guess, well, technically underwater stuff, but I think that's a little out of the reach at the moment. The one thing that got me kind of a little confused whether or not I would actually qualify for stuff like this, it says this program is open to pro photographers, travelers, and organizations such as tourism boards, non-profit government agencies, universities, or research groups. It's also open to others seeking to promote areas of cultural, historical, or touristic significance, as well as those who intend to photograph business interiors. So it kind of made me wonder whether or not I would qualify for some of this, because it sounds like they're aiming more for groups and organizations to have this. I'm not like a pro photographer or anything like that. I'm just some guy, for example. I do my walking, I capture drone footage, so it makes me wonder if I qualify for this at all. Maybe someone else here knows specific details about this, but that's kind of an interesting thought actually, like in terms of being able to capture stuff. At the same time, if they want some kind of significance, you wouldn't be able to get it, like to my knowledge. I can't just say, hey, I just want to walk around here right now and capture this. It has to be something like, okay, I want to go to this certain area because for whatever reason it's going to change, so we're going to capture it, or you'd have to make some kind of trip up in a mountain or something like that and you want to capture that view. That's what my assumption would be. But it's an interesting thought. Anybody ever have an experience with this? At the same time, would anyone actually have an idea here in a place in BC I would actually go with this thing? Because that would actually be part of the application. Let me know. And for the biggest news that caught my interest today, it said GoPro cuts 200 to 300 jobs, largely impacted by its drone division. This is really interesting to me because even when I first bought this drone, they were pretty much the front runner in terms of buying a drone. Because at the time I was looking for what kind of camera I could get, for example, like an action camera and a drone. And all that advertisement they released about, you had the perception that one flying through the library, people remember that? It made me think, wow, this thing is so small. So this was actually the drone I was going to buy at first. While the layoffs could be just for the whole department or company in general, just because they have so much competition now for action cameras, it says the hit to the companies were largely concentrated in its aerial division, the segment of the company responsible for its Karma drone. Another interesting point here, it says they're kind of holding out this news potentially for after CES, because obviously it'll affect things like their earning reports and all that, I would assume. And it says the belt tightening won't come as much of a surprise to those following the action camera makers' move into drones over the past several years. GoPro's Karma drone has been a headache from the start, both in regards to its technical limitations and a mass recall after reports stated drones were dropping from the sky late last year. If I remember correctly, the cause of this was the battery became loose. That's why the drone was falling out of the sky. So they called everything back, and some people, they actually got like a free GoPro as a result of all the trouble. I remember reading too, before the Karma came out, they actually talked with DJI to release a drone. So if they had that partnership, I'm guessing there would have been no such thing as the Mavic Pro. That would have been probably like the Karma. It says the two companies had reportedly been working on the project that would ultimately become the Karma, only to ultimately part ways. Of course, DJI's wealth of experience in the space gave the company a decided leg up on GoPro's latest attempt to diversify. The company also reportedly sought partnerships with other drone makers, including Southern California's 3DR. They basically want to diversify, as they said, but I guess it didn't really turn out that well so far for them. That makes me think I guess I made the right decision buying the Mavic at the time, huh? Even though I didn't really know anything about drones in general. Just for perspective, it says GoPro let 100 people go from its entertainment division in late 2016, and then an additional 270 jobs were eliminated in March of 2017. So they really need to, I guess, step up their game in many ways, or at least think of new ways to become a profitable business. This kind of makes me think of that topic that was brought up the other day on whether or not there is any other company in the world that could compete with someone like a DJI, or if they're simply too big. If this GoPro example shows anything, they were the monster, like no one could touch them before, but look what happened once the competition came out. So like I say, the companies have to constantly innovate and all that stuff, provide the good customer service, because you never know. Well, like I say, competition is always good. I don't know if you guys can tell, but what I'm trying right now is the umbrella's actually blocking a bit of the top, so it kind of blocks the light. So I'm seeing if that actually affects the image quality. It kind of looks a little deeper to me, like the colors. What do you guys think? Yeah, this place is almost officially closed. Okay, let's try to find something to edit. I've actually been having a lot of fun trying to play around with the different colors and stuff like that with the videos. All right, see you guys later.